I remember asking my husband, I said, how are you gonna feel like if this doesn't work and I don't ever get pregnant? I got some backlash on that video a little bit. A few slaps on the wrist for sure, because people just thought I shouldn't say that. Hey guys, welcome to part 2 of I had my tubes tied 10 years ago and a tubal reversal 8 years later, and here I am now. So if you guys missed part 1 of this video, part 1 was just me sharing my story, my crazy story of how I went from just having my 3 kids, my tubes tied, and living my life to just having this crazy idea that I want to have more children and having my tubes reversed. Comment down below and let me know if you've gone through the same process. I've been reading some of your guys' comments, and some of the comments are crazy because some people just think that it's just like, oh, your tubes are tied and that's just it. Like you should just leave them and just keep it moving. But like I said, it's a God thing, and for me anyways, and I feel like God doesn't make mistakes. And if it's on your heart and it's His will, and it's gonna happen. It's no wonder you have people out there who tie their tubes and still full-blown get pregnant. Because why? There's no guarantee, but because why? I personally believe because He's got a will for that. But anyways, that's neither here nor there, because I'm not here to preach to you. I'm just here to tell my story and just kind of my experiences. So if you guys are curious about just like my whole journey, definitely check out part 1 because I went in depth and shared all the details and whatnot. But part 2 is merely just to kind of touch base in a more lighter way, to just kind of say like where I am now mentally, and just how I feel about the whole tubal reversal thing on a whole. But I do it again. Of course, I have to say yes, I have children, but I would do it again. I once shared that I don't think women should get their tubes tied, and I got some backlash on that video a little bit. A few slaps on the wrist for sure, because people just thought I shouldn't say that. After having my tubes reversed and realizing just how freeing it was to have them reversed, I definitely felt strong regret for having tied them in the first place. Because, you know, sometimes we're in a state of mind, and sometimes we just feel in the mood to be like, okay, you know what, I think I'm done. And we know how life is. Life is literally a roller coaster. Knowing what I know now in comparison to then, I definitely can see how life can be a roller coaster, and we can have different thought processes. I know obviously when it comes to conceiving and having children, it's not just a one person thing. I'm just, you know, I spoke from my perspective, but I also spoke from a couple's perspective, like myself, my husband. But I know in a lot of people's situation, it's you have to speak with your partner as on a whole as well, because you know, when you have children, you don't want it to just be you having them and your partner resenting them. You don't want it to be like that at all. So you have to be on board. And sometimes feelings may get hurt where, you know, one doesn't want children and one does. There's a lot to definitely think about. So on a whole, for me, I just knew that I kind of made a move because I was in that moment in time where I thought I wanted to do this thing, and it kind of came back to bite me in the butt. After having my journey, I have noticed that there's so many women out there who've been in the same predicament as me, who did it, tied their tubes, and regretted it after. And many who were seeking to have a reversal, many who were seeking the resources to be able to pay for a reversal, and many who felt like they wanted a reversal but just couldn't even foresee how they were going to afford it. So I now know that obviously there are a number of us who are making this decision, not quite knowing just how different life can be and the road that's left for us ahead. We just don't know. And we could make a decision now that could impact us later. And some of us have, and then we have to live with those consequences. So it's kind of the main reason why I was saying like it's definitely a process. Tying your tubes is definitely a process that requires thought. And sometimes us moms, especially after giving birth and just enduring what we just endured, it's not the best time, I don't think, to say it, we're tying it. Hopefully it's something that's discussed beforehand. and you're just kind of following through with it, because during that time we're so vulnerable, we're going through so many emotions and so many different things that it's just not the best time to come up with that decision and just make such a decision. Comparatively, from today in 2023, what I've noticed is that the prices of tubal reversal, oh my goodness, have skyrocketed. So what does that say? It says that tubal reversal is clearly like a thing in demand, that it's still, there's a lot of women out there getting it. I understand inflation has gone up, so I can see how that has played a role in it as well. But I definitely think there are a lot of women out there seeking to get tubal reversals, because the price has not only just gone up, but it's doubled in 6 years. And that's a lot. So yeah, it kind of has me standing where I was standing before and affirming my idea that we should maybe just think long and hard before we tie our tubes. But those of you who are in a similar predicament to me, having already kind of just gone through the motion and have done it, we know the journey, or some of you are still waiting on your journey, and it's not easy. One thing I've also noticed is that not all of the reversal stories are successful, and that's the scary thing about doing it, as well as the scary thing about putting thousands of dollars down. So like I said, when it was my turn, $6,000 seemed so grand that if it didn't work, I was going to be so sad. I remember asking my husband, I said, how are you going to feel like if this doesn't work and I don't ever get pregnant? You know, I know couples, I see it on YouTube. Like, how are you going to feel? And he said, like, it is going to be what it is. Like, it's not, you know, this is something that we want and we're working towards it, and it's not anything in our control at that point. So I just wanted to ensure, like, I remember thinking, I just wanted to ensure that he doesn't feel any type of way, because I knew I may feel a type of way, especially knowing if he felt a type of way, if you know what I mean. Yeah, that's like one of the downsides to it, when we do tie our tubes and then have to have it reversed in hopes to conceive again. We could endure just a series of things that may not help us to conceive, and that's the hard part. There's no guarantee that it's going to work 100%. From the tubal reversal aspect, I feel like I've seen it, and there seems to be a lot more success rate with the tubal reversal versus the male side of things, where they seem, as far as I know, because I've also met various people, I've heard different people share their stories on here, and it seems like on the male side of things, it doesn't work. It's not as successful. I don't tend to see the same level of success rates. So yeah, that's another thing I just thought to throw in there. A lot of you share some of your journey in general, and just like some of you saying that you've had your tubes untied for a year and it's not working, and you haven't been successful in conceiving. And I hear you and I feel for you, and like I said, my heart just goes out for you, because all I keep thinking is just sending prayers out to you. In that moment when I read your actual comment, I say a little prayer for you, and I send baby dust your way. But in the midst of it, I also want to point out, I shouldn't use but, because when we use but, it almost like negates what I say. But I didn't want to negate it. I just want to add it. I just want to add to it. I just wanted to add to it to say, after learning, especially since, you know, since TTCing after having a tubal reversal, because you know what's funny, when I got pregnant in my young 20s and stuff like that, you just get pregnant. You don't even, I never tracked a darn thing. I never knew what the heck to do. I was just like, okay, you're just busy doing, you know, and then boom, baby. It was like nothing. And then all of a sudden you're in your 30s and you get your tubes tied, and now you're like faithfully tracking your cycle and stuff like that. Totally different time frames and totally different experiences. So, but in the midst of tracking, I've learned so much about my own health. Like, I learned my cycles, I learned my ovulation type. I literally knew nothing about those things when I got pregnant with my first 3 kids. Yeah. So, I also learned that it takes like a normal healthy couple up to a year to conceive. So that's what I want to share with you, is like, give yourself a little grace and just maybe patience. Because one thing I remember saying to myself and reading when I first was still laying on that bed after having my laparoscopic surgery in just trying to heal before I can actually TTC. I read things about just stress and its effects, this negative effects on pregnancy and just women trying to conceive. And that's why I said to myself, like, I'm gonna just stay off of that. Like, I'm just gonna maintain a positive energy, because the negativity doesn't help you but bring you down and keep you down. And it just robs you of your experience, you know? Just enjoy the motion, go enjoy the journey, and just kind of go with it, and try not to just spend your whole time thinking about TTCing or even the baby, even when it's your goal. I know it's easier said for me, because even when I was doing this, I had 3 children, and I think most people who are having a tubal reversal probably have children too, so I think you probably can understand what I mean. Try not to think about that, just TTCing all the time, or thinking about baby all the time. Just live your life, do the things that you need to stay active, stay healthy. You know, one thing I think worked for me too, losing a little bit of weight. I lost like a little bit, like 9 pounds or something like that, and it did significant. I felt like it helped me. So even just losing a little bit of weight, taking your prenatals, I think I was taking fish oil, and just, yeah, a healthy mind, healthy mind. I definitely think our mouths and our words have power. And so when you want something, you really have to be powerful, and you have to really kind of proclaim it. But according to, like, from my perspective, it's like proclaim it in the name of Jesus for me, because like, that's just where my faith comes from. That's just where my strength comes from on a whole. And so for me, I just kind of left it to him, because I knew that for me, it was like, if it's his will for me, it will happen. And it's not always the easiest to just put your faith, or to have blind faith. But every time I wanted to have doubt, or doubt was creeping in, I would just remember, and I would be like, okay, it's not my will, it's his will. And it just gave me peace, and not always perfect peace, but enough peace to just maintain my sanity and maintain my composure, and just keep it moving and focus on other things, and not just get lost in the midst of myself and just get depressed because it's not working. So I hope this can help. I'm just sharing from my perspective. You take what you want out of it, and you ignore the rest. But I just mean well, and I just want to share positive insights as to how I cope, and to how I, you know, how I am on this journey. I'm in the midst of baby number 6, attempting to, you know, bring about baby number 6, but I'm trying to also take care of my health, because the weight was a lot harder to come off with baby number 5. That's a big part of too why I was so apprehensive to conceive, because I just didn't want to keep getting pregnant with more weight. So the weight is a battle. Oh, it's a battle. And so we're just kind of on this journey, and I know I don't want to say I don't have much time, because I am 39 this year. So it's getting close. I said when I'm 40, I'm like, as I was saying, I'm done. So the window is closing in. The window is closing in, and then we are, then this stage of life, I feel, will be kind of there. But will I be tying my tubes again? I don't see it, but I almost did when I had my last C-section. But that's a whole can of worms, okay? That's a whole can of worms. That's a whole can of worms. But right now, where I'm at is that we are attempting to have baby number 6, but I haven't been putting that pressure on myself, and I haven't been cycle tracking. Definitely think I should cycle track, and I should be keeping track of stuff, because that will be more helpful in helping us conceive, but I haven't been doing so. So I need to get back on that. But yeah, that's been my little update. The next video I put out, I don't know if I'm going to call it a part 3, but I'm going to be doing a Q&A, answering some of your guys' questions. I've already been screenshotting the ones that I saw in the comment section, and then I'm going to be kind of responding to it like podcast style, I guess. Yeah, that's where I'm at. I don't know what this video for me, as I'm thinking about it, seems like it may have been all over the place, but you know, sometimes that's what a chit chat can be, and I hope you guys don't mind it. Don't forget to like it, share, and comment, and let me know what you guys think. Hopefully I can vlog somewhere next time where the background is clean, but right now it is what it is. It's not like it's junky, but it's bookshelves. This is not a book talk. Anyways, yeah guys, thank you so much for tuning in, and until next time, bye y'all.